Hello, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers, and this is the eCom Sellers Academy Part 2 Etsy Workshop. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to continue the conversation that we had in Part 1 about selling on Etsy and what you need to do to be successful with selling on Etsy. So last week we went through the process of, or Part 1, we went through the process of creating your Etsy account. Of course, installing the Etsy app, understanding how to read the app. We worked through how to create a listing. We also talked about the Etsy fees and how you get paid. And then the last thing we did was we talked about a couple of different sourcing strategies to sell products on Etsy. Today, we're going to be going over some keyword research, talking about eRank. We're going to talk about the importance of using social media to post or to share cross-list promotions and coupons, in addition to marketing campaigns, and then branding your store, listing integration options, Shopify for those of you who want to integrate directly with Shopify, and setting up multiple Etsy stores and what you need to do to be successful at that. So with that, the first thing I want to talk about is eRank. I do recommend that you consider setting up an eRank account. There are other tools that are very similar to eRank that you can use to be able to help run your Etsy store. But the one thing about eRank is it allows you to do several things. One, you can do some keyword research. You can find out some data about other sellers that are selling on Etsy. You can find out what the competition levels are for certain tags or keywords. You can find out what the popular tags are. So it can give you some insight. It also give you some insight on what's happening with the stores that are selling. So if you have a store that's selling in the same niche that you plan on selling in, that can actually be helpful information. So eRank is about, I think, $5.99 a month. I think you can sign up. If you sign up for the free account and you sign up for the annual, I think you get a discount when you first start that. But you can use eRank to help you to do research on tags, help you to figure out the keywords. So I'll give you an example. We just passed Mother's Day. And of course, there's going to be Mother's Day themed like t-shirts and you're a great mom, and Mother's Day tote bags or tumblers or socks. And you can use eRank to help you to figure out what is potentially either the most popular product that you could be selling that maybe there's not as much competition. It'll let you know how much competition you have. And it may also give you some additional niche ideas that you hadn't thought about, areas where there is low competition or combinations of words that are long tail keywords that have less competition in them, which means they're potentially an opportunity for you. You know, there's a lot of people that sell on Etsy, but again, this is your opportunity to potentially sell something that was, in this example, Mother's Day related, but maybe not the same thing that everyone else is going after. So eRank, I believe, is a really good tool. Now, there are other tools that are similar to eRank, like Marmalade and some others. But for the price, I think eRank is a great tool for the price. So you can also use it to help you to calculate your ROI, like I said, competitor tags, and help you to generate hashtags to put on your listings, because we strongly recommend you use all 13 hashtags. In addition to that, using keywords versus tags. So I just said hashtags, but I meant tags in the previous eRank slide. So we recommend that you populate all 13 of the tags. So the keywords are the phrases that searchers enter into the search engine, like search queries. An example would be like Mother's Day, like they're looking for Mother's Day gifts or Mother's Day ideas, Mother's Day like t-shirts or tote bags. they're going to put that into the search engine inside of Etsy, or they might put that in the search engine on Google or on Facebook or on, not Facebook, sorry, on Google or on Amazon or on eBay, on some of the other platforms, just to kind of see what's happening. And one of the little tricks that I use when I am doing some research is that I type in the first couple of words for the platform that I happen to be on. So in this example, I would go to Etsy.com, and in the search engine, I would type in mother, and I would just start the first couple of letters. And I would see what are the 10 things that automatically show up without finishing typing the words. Those are the things that people are searching for. The 10 things that automatically display before I finish typing the entire word mother. Those are the things that people are searching for. So those things that I might be mindful of, or I'll make a note of it. So those keywords are, the words that show up in the queries of the search engines. Tags are the short phrases or words that describe your item. So your Etsy, the tags are what people are looking for. There's so many different examples of tags, and tags can be very descriptive. And so in this example, like, we were looking up Mother's Day, and that was the thing before. And probably in the search engine, you look up Mother's Day gifts and a bunch of products show up, or Mother's Day ideas, gift ideas, and a bunch of stuff shows up. But if we wanted to narrow it down to, in this example, we have several earrings. That's a gift that mothers can receive. Candles, and it may be vanilla scented candles or stress reduction or relaxation candles, because moms are always burning the candle at both ends, or things like that. So within the ideas for Mother's Day gifts, what are the products themselves? What is the actual product that is relevant that people are looking for? So if you decide that you want to sell socks, so mother's themed socks, or socks that are great for mothers, like, that would be the tag, would be, I wouldn't say mother socks, but I would probably put female socks for women or something like that. But when people create the listing, like, they might put in the description, like, gifts for female, gifts for moms, gifts for grandma, gifts for aunties, gifts for sisters or sister-in-laws. Like, these are all mothers. So there may be different ways in which this comes up. And so you want to write down all those tags before you create the listing. And you can use tools like eRank to figure out what the tags are on some of the listings. So that way it will help you, again, come up with a tag so you can populate all 13 places. So the keyword research is, again, what's the item and how are people searching for it? That can be any number of things, but the tags are, what is the item? What is the exact item? So that Etsy can be able to pull that back. If someone is looking for earrings, they will literally, if they're looking for silver, or maybe they're looking for gold or gold plated or nickel or whatever it happens to be, that they will look for those specific types of earrings. So we do, like I said, want to recommend that you use up to 13 tags. Remember that a tag can contain up to 20 characters. So you don't want to forget that when you are doing that work. So, and that's part of the creating of the listing. That's the part of creating the listing. So the next thing is, and I have to move this little thing around. I could never put it in the right place because it's one of those floaty things. It just kind of floats everywhere. All right. So social media, sharing or cross-listing your items from Etsy onto your social media fan pages like Amazon, not Lord have mercy, the social media fan pages like Facebook or Instagram. Those are probably the more popular of the social media platforms where you could actually share an image. Now you can share videos on Etsy for sure. And remember that capability exists for you to be able to share videos. And so if there's a video that you created for your listings, you want to share that onto your social media because it's attention grabbing. The one thing about today's buyers and today's people online is that the attention span is extremely short. So movement, motion, something that's engaging will help people to stay on your listing longer, possibly, or be more engaged with your listing. So if you created a video in this example, you want to share that on your social media. Whatever your store name is, you want to create your social media pages to be the same as your store name. So before I go and buy a domain from anyone, I always want to go check and see, will I be able to get that social media real estate on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter? Not that Twitter is where it's at, or Pinterest, LinkedIn, and some of the other social media platforms. And if I can get that real estate, fantastic. If I can't, then I may or may not buy that domain. Or also TikTok, because people, they like to these days buy things that they see on the TikToks, the little short TikToks. So share your listings over to your social media fan page once you create it. Your Instagram page, Instagram is always looking for photos. And if you can convert some of those into movement or motion, so you can take multiple, or not necessarily you take multiples, but you can take some of the stills that you get when you're doing either print on demand, or if you're taking your own pictures because you're making your own products, then you can put those into a short little movie or video that's, doesn't have to be more than 15 to 30 seconds long. That way you can put it up on Instagram Reels, you can put it up on Facebook and also Facebook Stories, you can put it up on regular Instagram, you can put it up on Twitter, and you can also upload it to YouTube Shorts. So it's showing your item in movement, and Pinterest as well. So you should acquire or set up the branding for whatever the name of your store is. If your store is named, mine is not the Minimalist Planner, but if it was the Minimalist Planner, then I would make sure that I bought that domain, and then I would also set up the social media assets on Facebook. It would be the Minimalist Planner, and on Twitter and on Instagram and TikTok, all of the places. I would make sure that I acquired the Minimalist Planner, or I created an account with that name, so that way, if anyone sort of forgets about where they got this item, they love it, they forgot where they got it from, or they remember some of the words of where they got it from, the name of the store. Then if they just do a search, I'm going to come up everywhere, and they can always look up my stuff and go, oh yeah, this is where I got the item for. This is where I got the planner. This is where I got whatever. So the other thing about social media is going to help you to be able to get more followers. Those followers could potentially become buyers. So the great thing about Etsy is that you can share any listings that you create on Etsy. You can share those to your social media fan pages. So you can turn them into like a short motion video, you can turn them into a GIF too, as well, if you wanted to do that. And again, it will help you to get more followers, which by default, hopefully will drive you more traffic to your listings. You want to use hashtags. Unlike on Etsy, you have tags, but you also want to use hashtags so that, again, if anyone is searching for specific things by the hashtag, your stuff is going to come up. So, hashtag great gifts for mom or Mother's Day gift, like you could add those hashtags to your listings when you share it on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. Then when they do a search for all of the posts that are related to great gifts for moms, yours should come up in the random Google search. It gives you an opportunity to interact with potential customers that really may or may not be customers. But if they see something online that they like of yours based on the name of your store and then the name that you set up on social media, hopefully it's the same as the name of your store or boutique or whatever, then again, it gives you more opportunity to present products that they might be interested in or that they might share out with others because of the fact that you're sharing it to your social media. And when you are like using social media, the thing that I want you to keep in mind is if you're taking the pictures yourself, they do need to be mobile friendly. They need to be optimized in the size so that that way they don't come off as grainy or too tiny. One of the things I hate is like getting an image where it's like 300 by 300 or 400 by 400. That's tiny, and it needs to fit in a space of over 1,000 by 1,000. So it's going to become a grainy image. And so that's not an image I want to share on social media. So the goal is for you to, again, get really good pictures of your products. Even if you are using, a third-party tool like Placeit or something like that, and edit those pictures. You can put them into a movie, or you can just make sure that the pictures come up well on the phone. So anytime you create a listing on Etsy, make sure you pull up that listing on your phone just to see how it comes out. Regardless of your phone and regardless of the size of your phone, make sure you do that. And you should always set up, like I said, a Facebook business page and an Instagram business page so that that way you can drive more traffic to your listings and potentially get more sales. And if it's a name of a store that is memorable, that makes it all the better. So within Etsy, you do have the ability to make special offers. You can do coupons, you can do sales, so that your potential customers retargeted if they decide they potentially wanted to buy something and they don't close out or pay. Then you could set up some abandoned cart email campaigns so that that way, if they walk away from stuff that they had in their cart, but they could get marketed to, maybe offer an additional 5% off or things like that. So the way that you access it is you're going to go under Shop Manager once you log into your Etsy account. And under Shop Manager, you're going to go to Marketing, and then you're going to click on Sales and Coupons. Again, this is where you'll have the opportunity to create a special offer, even if it's only for a limited time. And you want to set all of that up, giving you the opportunity to, again, get some organic traffic to your listings. The other thing I wanted to mention is another thing that you can do to get some organic traffic to your listings, which I don't know that it's in my slides, but using the tool Pingler and Ping Farm will help build backlinks. So if you're sharing these listings onto Pinterest and you're sharing them onto some of the other platforms, like maybe you're using a tool like List Perfectly, and so you're using your Etsy listing to cross share onto eBay, or to cross share onto Walmart, or cross share onto some of the other in Instagram, whatever. If you want to do that, then again, you do need to have your fan page already set up, and whatever potential offer that you're going to make to them, make sure that you're using some of the tools. The thing about Etsy is that when you do special offers, and some people's strategy is to do at least one offer a week, that can increase your organic traffic automatically because you are doing at least one offer a week. So consider using the promotions test, like do a test, and maybe do a split test, maybe a couple of different products. But consider doing a split test so that you can see what the difference is when you use a promotion versus when you don't. Are you getting more traffic? Are you not getting more traffic? Are you getting more sales? Or are you not getting more sales or more buys? Like, do that test. And I think you'll find that over time, with consistency and also with amazing listing images and great listing details, the title, the description, that you're getting more traffic. And it could be because of the listings, but naturally with promotions and coupons, that will also drive traffic, especially if you do like a 3-day promotion or a 5-day promotion. The one thing about all the platforms, including Etsy, is that when you offer those little short promotions, when the promotion's about to end, Etsy's going to show the listing more frequently, and they're going to show it organically more frequently, which again gives you the opportunity to get more sales. So consider using or looking into or testing or playing with the promotions and coupons, and consider setting up some marketing campaigns. So within Etsy, you do have the ability to create your own marketing campaign, as I mentioned before. You can do paid ads. You can also share your images and your products over to um, Pinterest and make it a clickable link. And that will also help you as well. And you can do promotions of your products on other platforms. Like you can do promotions for your listings that happen to be on Etsy. You can do promotions on Google Shop, on Google Ads. You can do Facebook ads. You can do Instagram ads. So you can do ads for anything that you're wanting to potentially promote. So keep that in mind as well as another way. But you can go into your marketing campaign. You can go to get to a marketing campaign area. You want to go to Shop Manager, click on Marketing, and then you want to click on Etsy Ads. Again, you can do promotions, which is what we had in the previous slides, or you can do paid ads where you're showcasing a specific product for a period of time. So if I were going to do this to drive more traffic to my store, maybe 1 week or a couple of days of the week, I would make sure that my offer, I at least had one offer on one product that was in my store for promotions and coupons. And then for another product that's in my store, I would just run regular marketing ads and maybe do that for 3 or 4 days as well. So that way you're doing a little bit of both every week for about 4 weeks and then see what happens. So you should do it. You should get a baseline of not using promotions and marketing and see what your numbers are for 4 weeks and then come in and do paid promotions and coupons and also set up paid marketing ads and see what your numbers look like. Don't like try to do this compare in like Q4. Like this is the window to do the compare right now in May and June. It's a great time to be able to do that because the sales are what the sales are. They're not as you don't have as many sales going on right now. You will have some sales, but not as many as you would as you got closer to Q4. So once you go to Shopping Manager, you're going to go to Marketing, and then you go to Etsy Ads. And then you need to make sure that you establish a budget. So before you even get into this, make sure you've written down a budget and also think about the verbiage on your ads as well, because that's going to matter, especially if you're targeting a specific demographic or audience or gender or whatever the case may be. Those people that like fishing or people that are, love red, white, and blue. So they're patriotic, or maybe it's those people that need that cup of coffee in the morning. So you're going to create a whole bunch of t-shirts around, coffee, just depending on what it is. You need to have that information already ready before you even begin the process of creating your marketing ads. So to brand your store, the thing that you want to remember is that a lot of people have Etsy stores and you want people to remember your store and you want them to come back and buy. So one of the suggestions I made is that, it needs to be a memorable name and it needs to be a shorter name, because if people have to remember long names, they're not going to do it. So make sure it's a shorter name that's manageable by you so that you don't feel overwhelmed by it. And then think about, what is the reason why you set up the store? What's the story that your store is telling? And maybe include some of that in your bio description, because that's going to help you to get more eyeballs again on your store, help to drive more traffic. Because if you're a person that loves the environment, that's going to shine through in some of your products, but also in the description that you've written. So think about the story that you want to tell. Today, my son created 4 eBay listings today. So I could say that those are 4 Etsy listings, but they're not, but they are eBay listings. But the point is let's say he did do 4 Etsy listings today. So what you could have in this example is maybe your store is themed or pushes towards younger folks, or maybe your store is more focused on, when I say younger folks, I mean like job opportunities and things like that. And so that type of story resonates. Like the people who make your products are younger individuals, or maybe they have special needs. And so the people who make your products or ship your products are from the special needs community. They have either physical disability or they have an intellectual disability. And if that's the case, there are some people that will want to buy from those specific stores. So make sure that your store, if there's a story behind what you do, make sure that you note that in your description of your store. You need to figure out who your target audience is. You could sell a little bit of everything, but Etsy works better when you're niche down. 100% it works better. So if you want to just focus on women's t-shirts and hats and bags, stuff like that, that's fine. If you want to focus on young folks or you want to focus on seniors, again, you need to figure out your target audience, what it is you're going to sell to them. And then some of the stuff that you need to build, like your banner for your Etsy store, you can build that in Canva. It's a wonderful tool. There's a couple other tools you can do it in, but you can use that. You can use Canva to help you with your store branding on Etsy. Okay. Or you can use Fiverr. So there's a lot of different listing integration tools that are out there. The one that we use, that I use personally, is List Perfectly. There's Vendoo, which is a great tool, but I feel like List Perfectly has a couple more integrations in place over Vendoo. I said I was going to test that one day just so people could see the difference in what the results were. Cross-listed, Seller Champ, Seller Bright, Hound, all of those are great integrations. That means that if they can take your listing that happens to exist on Etsy, pull it into their catalog or library, and push it out to eBay or push it out to Mercari or Depop or Shopify. So you can push your listings out to other platforms, thereby giving you the opportunity to get more eyeballs and potentially more sales on your products. So look into those integrations and see if any of those work for you. But this is the one thing I'll say. I don't recommend people get tools until they're profitable. If you spend all your money on tools, then, it's going to be hard for you to even see that you're making any kind of money because you're focused on, hey, I'm spending all this money on tools. Like every month I'm spending $200 on tools and I'm only making $50. That's a problem. So I would suggest that you wait on the tools and try to figure out this eBay platform without it. And then once you have a process or a rhythm that works, then scale. So there are integrations if you decide that you want to integrate your Etsy store with Shopify. And you can do a search when you log into your Shopify back office, or even if you don't, you can do a search on the vendors you can do a search on the Shopify apps and who those are who've made those Shopify apps. So in this example, this one is made by Said Commerce, and you can go do a little bit of research on Said Commerce. If you feel like this integration is going to work for you for your Shopify, then great, then you can install it onto your Shopify store. But if you don't, like you want to look at the reviews and ratings for the different vendors or different companies that are making these apps, and if their rating is not good, you probably don't want to go with them. But you need to decide if you feel like you need both. You feel like you need a Shopify store, and you also need a an Etsy store. You have to decide if you want those both, and you're going to pay if you get a Shopify store. So just make sure that before you set up a Shopify store and also have an Etsy store, that you figure out, am I making enough money to be able to cover both of those expenses? But then the next thing is, again, remembering that when you do have a Shopify store, when you go into the apps section of Shopify, there are so many apps that you could be integrating with when it comes to Shopify. So you just want to read what the features are, what they do, and how they work. And then if that's for you, then go ahead and install it. If you have a Shopify store, if it's not for you, then just don't do it yet. But just know that there's some of their paid Shopify integration apps and there are free ones. So my goal is always to have you start with the free stuff and to try and maximize using that before you move to the paid stuff. Okay, so here's Importify. This is taking your listings and pushing them out as well. And so those are two, again, when you do the search from within Shopify, these are two of the apps that are pertaining to Etsy. All right, so the next thing is not going down, huh? There we go. as we've talked about a couple of different things with Etsy, I just want to remind you again why it is such a good reason and such a great time for you to be able to sell on Etsy. You can reach more people with your products, especially with different price points for different products, or variations of the different products. So it gives you an opportunity to connect with more people because Etsy is a large platform. They are. It can help diversify your business, especially print on demand. There's different ways in which you can sell different types of products that you can sell on Etsy. So it doesn't always have to be print on demand, but print on demand is one of those that's very prevalent, on Etsy. Like we said before, they have over 45 million people have purchased products from Etsy, and that number is going to continue to grow. It's still going to continue to be staggering. The print on demand business model is where you sell products that you design yourself. So if you have a creative thumb, then you definitely want to make sure that, you know, you take advantage of your skills and your knowledge and throw those items onto some print on demand products. There's so many different print on demand product suppliers. You can start with one of the easiest I feel is Printify. I'm not saying they're the cheapest. I'm saying they're one of the easiest. And so you can create a design and superimpose it onto a t-shirt and use that. But it is a great way to get started. So the t-shirts, I mean, people have been selling t-shirts for years, hoodies, long sleeve shirts, things like that. Like all of those, you can put a design on them using print on demand and then sell that product over and over again. Or you can step into some unfamiliar territory, and there's other types of products that are print on demand related that you could potentially sell. You just want to go see what the competition is before you start down that rabbit hole. Okay. The other thing, and be sure to follow all your trademark guidelines if you're going to be working with a print on demand provider and also working with a freight forwarder. So each one of them will contact you separately, looking for whatever they're looking for. Just make sure that you're following the guidelines for trademarks, because you don't want to get your account shut down because you're out here making a bunch of Disney head themed products on t-shirts and hats and socks. As soon as someone as soon as someone looks at that print on demand design, there's a high probability when they first look at it that is something that they're really interested in. So make sure you create stuff with a bold print, bright print, full size, so that it pops on the mobile device. That's one of the things you want to do. And again, if you use Printful or Printify or whatever, you'll have that integration so that they can automatically fulfill the order for you. So make sure you're not getting yourself in trouble with trademarks. Make sure you're not using the Disney head on any of your listings, because I always say that if you can afford the same attorneys that Disney can afford, then go for it and see what happens. You're still going to lose in a court of law. But if you can't afford the attorneys that Disney has, then don't make print on demand designs that are going to get you in trouble. Okay. All right. So print on demand Etsy integrations, I will tell you that Printful, Printify, Printed Mint, Wooten, all of those have an integration with Etsy already. That means that once you have a sale, that item can automatically be shipped to the customer if they are your print on demand provider. You've already connected it directly to your Etsy store. So I would definitely test one of the well-known ones, which is Printful, even though the prices may not be exactly what you want. Just kind of understanding the flow and the process and leaving it out there for at least a week or two so you feel comfortable is a great way for you to, test and play with some of the integrations that are out there. You can have multiple suppliers attached to your Etsy account. I don't know what the limit is, but I did actually ask that question, and I need to write down that number somewhere, because you don't want to get into a situation where you got 30 print on demand providers. I know you can't go up to that number. I don't know what the number is, but you won't ever be able to do like 30 integrations. Probably going to be something more reasonable, like 5 or 3. Okay. But if you want to be 100% hands off, some of these print on demand providers are the ones you want to have further conversations with. You will have to pay in most cases for a membership. So again, be prepared for that as well. So if you're going to manage multiple shops, you're going to do that in your Etsy back office. When you log in to your account, you're going to click on register, and you're going to begin the process of registering a new email address and a new phone while you already have an account. So make sure you're not logged into your account when you start this process, sign completely out, and then you can begin by clicking on sign in and then register and create your new secondary account. Now, managing multiple print-on-demand stores, or multiple Etsy shops can get a little tricky. So if you're not organized, don't do it. Please don't do it, because it's just going to make you nuts. But if you are organized, again, being able to manage multiple stores may be right up your alley, because it'll keep you busy. That's for sure. So you want to manage multiple shops and from different locations and different products. You just need to be prepared that you might be working with one account and you're using the print-on-demand providers from Printful, and they are fulfilling orders from the different locations where they have Printful stuff. Whereas if you were using Printify, it may not come from the same area and or location, and they have a completely different set of addresses. And that may be irrelevant unless you're choosing a specific printer within your Printful, sorry, not Printful, within your Printful account, like, or Etsy account. You want to make sure, and you're going to have to switch between the two accounts. That's the other thing you have to be mindful of. So switching between the two accounts can be challenging. You do need to know where your print-on-demand provider is shipping from. So that's what I was trying to get to on Printful, is that, like Printify. So when an order is fulfilled, you have to, again, know where it's coming in from. And that can be a lot. Hiring a VA to help manage that or keep track of that might be helpful. You're going to have to do multiple uploads if you're going to run a Etsy shop with multiple accounts, multiple shops. So again, something that you can hand over to a VA so you can keep things straight. I do have 2 accounts, so it can sometimes become cumbersome. You can make mistakes. When you're maintaining all your accounts yourself, there is an opportunity for human error. Just know that. So if there's tools out there, AI tools, that can do a little bit of the heavy lifting for you and just stick to the facts, that's going to make it easier for you to be able to run multiple Etsy stores. But if let's say you got a return on one account, you got a negative rating on a specific product on another account, you got to go do some research on that. Like if you hire a VA, some of that's going to be a lot easier because your VA can just reply with the standard answer, and or you can focus on that and let the VA handle like any shipments or check on notifications or things like that. You do want to keep track of your inventory if you're going to manage multiple shops, and where possible, as I mentioned before, using AI tools or automated tools, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. That's the biggest thing. If you're going to run multiple shops, try to use as much automation as possible, or use other resources. Maybe have one VA that's focused on one shop, another VA that's focused on the other shop if you have 2 part-time VAs. That's just one way to do it. So I hope this information is helpful. I hope that you use this to be able to help you to get more successful on Etsy. The thing that I invite you to do is that if you haven't already done so, you can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session and let's talk about your business. Let's look at your Etsy shop. Let me help you if you're struggling with creating that first listing, or you're struggling with that integrating your Etsy shop with Printful or Printify. It's not connecting, or you're trying to connect it and it's not working the way you want. Schedule a free 20-minute coaching session. You can go to ecomsellers.com. Click on free resources and schedule your free 20-minute coaching session. Again, go to ecomsellers.com. click on free resources and schedule your free 20-minute coaching session. Let's talk about your business and let's look at what's happening with your Etsy shop. If you're having any other questions, like you want to create your first listing on Etsy, you're having problems with the Etsy app, just schedule a free 20-minute coaching session. And if you're watching this live in the eCom Sellers Academy Facebook group, in the comments section, type your questions, whatever questions you have, and we will be happy to answer them directly underneath this video. Just type your questions and we're happy to help. With that, we're going to say goodbye for now. So I hope this is helpful.